What's up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. It's Showdown weekend, and we have an all-out center back attack. Now, before I go into this, my last experiment where I put players all out of position to show that attributes really don't matter in the UFL, there are some people that didn't understand exactly what I was trying to prove, or maybe thought that I was out to get UFL. But what you don't understand is that every great game, right? If you go back, there's an actual movie on this. You can look it up, all the history of Madden. All the great games, they hire a ton of playtesters before the game even comes out, and they tell these playtesters, play the game and try to break it. We want to fix everything possible. We want to make this game the best game possible. That's what every game developer should be doing. Unfortunately, what you have here is a company that released an unfinished product, point blank period. And there's players out there that are going to spend money on skins, on players, things like this, CP to get players, I should say. And these players deserve to know that they're putting into a broken product. And also the developers should know these things so they can fix them in the future and potentially create a good game, right? Everyone is talking about, well, they're a new company. EA Sports has been around forever. Konami's been around. Yes, you're right, but it doesn't matter. For instance, if right now I went into the MLS, let me tell you, former player, haven't played for a long time, coaching now, and I just got into the MLS. Nobody looks at me as a rookie and goes, well, he's new to the MLS, right? Yes, he's not very good right now, but he's new. Give him time. Messi's been playing for years. No, they would look at me and go, dude, get off the field. Why would you even come out here? You can't play. It's the same thing here. If you can't hack it as a premier football game, then stop acting like it, right? Don't put out all of this promotion saying fair to play, no gimmicks, no this or that, basically coming at EA Sports and Konami trying to get that player base over. And guess what? They did a pretty good job for their initial project. But when things start going bad, you can't try to steal the players away and say, hey, this is what we want to do. We want to replace FC. We want to be a mainstay in this football gaming world. But then when all this nonsense goes on, all of a sudden go, wait, we're new. Now, I'm not saying they're saying it. It's more certain players. Maybe they work for, strikers. I don't know. But let's just say the players are saying this, some of them. That's nonsense. They came into this world. They have to either step up or shut up and get out. And this is a big reason, as you'll see in these highlights from this Showdown weekend, why the game is so messed up. Lack of player identity, lack of attributes meaning anything. The players, you can just play them anywhere and you get the same gameplay. And that takes away from any type of motivation, right? What's the motivation to play all these different modes? For instance, FC right now, they have these friendly cups. What's the motivation? You get Mycone. You get a awesome Odegaard card, and when you get these cards, they actually play like those players in real life, or at the very least, those stats that they have matter. So you get a juiced up Odegaard card, he is going to be awesome because of those stats. You get a base Mycone card right now, no one cares, but you get this juiced up Mycone card, everyone's grinding for it because he's awesome in gaming, he makes a difference. In UFL, the players really don't make a difference, right? Now, that's where I think they could really start to go in their own lane and create a full manual experience and make it all about proper spacing, proper tactics, and play proper football. But in order to do that, they'd have to go back to the basis of their initial release, that gameplay. They went totally away from it to this clustered up, AI-assisted defense, and so they went away from what I'm talking about could be successful. But as far as trying to really compete with FC and eFootball, you're going to see here why that isn't possible. And me doing this is just doing exactly what these games do before the game comes out anyway. The game tester's job is literally to find these things that I'm finding, and then they point them out and the developers fix them before the game hits market. Strikers didn't do their due diligence. It's their fault. And now I'm going to put this out there because I want the player base to know. It's only fair. You can't hide from facts. So when Strikers got mad that I did that video and people were sharing it on their Discord and they blocked me out of the conversation, essentially tried to shut down my video, let's see them try to shut down some of these things when you see some of these goals, some of these moves and dribbling and stuff that some of these center backs are doing that are 30 rated dribbling, 40 rated shooting. And no, it's not, oh, well, players can play different positions, in football. It has nothing to do with that. When you have players that are moving, like Prime Mbappe, that have attacking positioning of like 30 as opposed to like a 90 rated Mbappe, and they're still making those same runs. The passes, by the way, with this passing lock are fully assisted still, to where, yeah, maybe certain passes matter, but every pass, for instance, I have two center backs playing winger. Every pass they made was spot on, no different than the best passing wingers in the game. Not to mention when I'm able to go pick a bunch of center backs based on how tall they are and put them in my attack, and they do well just because I can cross the ball all day long, and because you have a silly thing with height making a difference for who wins the headers. Literally, if I wanted to, I didn't even have to truly play to show these attributes with dribbling and stuff. Didn't matter. I could have just kept the ball in the air the entire time, and I won every aerial battle because I took the tallest players. Now, if I can do this, what do you think some rat's going to do, right? That has no skill. Not to mention, what do you think the game's going to devolve into, right? Even if it's not rats. Let's just say it's just a competitor that wants to win. Because I talked about it before. It's a developer's job to get these things out. Many development companies, at least the serious ones, would have already seen all this stuff, and they wouldn't have put a game out where you could do this type of thing. Now, if some of you are saying, why did you show this? Now players are going to do it. No different than Sam Zeno saw it, and I saw it, and all of us seen it. Players are going to figure it out on their own, and if it doesn't get out there, because trust me, there's certain players that don't want to stick it out so they can go use it and maybe win because they can't win with skill, they're never going to want it out. We need to get these things out there so strikers, UFL can come in and say, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't make height a factor in who wins a head ball. Maybe it should be just on stats. Oh yeah, maybe we should make more detail into the attributes. So if a center back has 30 agility and 40 dribbling, he's not moving around like an Mbappe. Oh, maybe you know what I mean? Everything that gets out there, then the development company can look and say, yes, let's change this, or no, that's okay. But right now, that's not happening. Now, I'm going to put it to this one community manager that got a hold of my video where players in different positions. I'm going to put it to the fact that he was just a buffoon and wanted to try to defend the game. He couldn't have been possibly a true higher up in strikers. Otherwise, they're in trouble because he failed to even look at it. Like, what developer is going to see? They literally should have game testers shown in this stuff. But once it comes out, at least say, I will take a look at it. Instead, he said, oh, well, anybody could make that pass, pointing to like one shorter pass I made with Van de Ven. Well, let's go ahead and talk about some of the things you see here and go ahead and tell me that this is normal. And one more thing before we get started. I know it was said before, I'm one of the top players in the world in the game. I get that. Another YouTuber had said that, and that is true. And I get what he's saying as far as, yeah, I can do a lot of things that other players can't do, but I'm not talking about what I can manipulate the players to do. I'm talking about sheer dribbling, right? Sheer shooting, sheer movement, sheer positioning when their attributes for all these things are very low. Not me being able to do things, on the sticks that make these players very good. I get that part. That is true. Anybody can understand that. But we are talking about the actual player identity, which was in the whole video, was in the title. I described it. No one was ever saying that I wasn't, a top player that couldn't do certain things that other players can't. But that was not what made these players do what you're seeing here. Van de Ven turning on a dime like that, making a run with that type of ball control, that type of dribbling with literally, like I said, 30 and 40 dribbling. That's craziness. So again, it's not about looking at what I can do, it's about looking at the players and what they're doing in game. You see here, this is not how a center back should look on a run. And it should have been buried if I pulled the trigger at the right time. Now again here, watch this build up and forget about the passes and the decisions that I'm making on the sticks. Just look at the players. Right here, this is LaCroix. Low rated center back, perfect pass. That's Bissek. Nice little move, burns two defenders essentially. Now watch this. Tell me he doesn't look just like a winger there with that movement. And then, okay, you want to give Van de Ven, oh, he's great at heading. I do agree there. That's fine. We won't even look at the goal. But that run from Bissek, he looked just like a winger there. Look at this run. Same thing from Bissek. Okay, he shoots it wide. But it's no different than this miss from Richarlison, who has great finishing, or So, who has much better finishing than Bissek, missing there. And how about this one? The exact same type of shot from Phil Foden, a juiced up Phil Foden, by the way, with excellent shooting. He misses just the same way. So the run there by Bissek and then the miss should not be the exact same as players with much higher dribbling and much higher shooting. And take a look at this one. Yeah, the goal, anybody can finish that, right? But it's not about the goal. Look at who starts and builds this play up. LaCroix, after a good little movement from Bissek, a beautiful ball in, a great run from Bissek, and then the tap in from Van de Ven, which that was easy, but guess what? Look at his attacking positioning. It's way down there, like 30s, 40s, and yet he's in the right place at the right time, which is one of the biggest attributes for strikers, and he has it no different than like a 90-plus attacking positioning Haaland or anybody else, Mbappe, whoever else. That is unrealistic. I mean, point blank period, if you didn't know this was Bissek, you would think he was a top striker based on this run. And yes, he was a little bit lucky to have the ball bounce right back, but I could show you a million misses, which you already know based on your gameplay, that strikers miss just like that. But this run wasn't anything special on the sticks. Yeah, I did the double tap R1. Anyone can do that, though. This wasn't about whatever I was doing on the sticks. It was about the fact that Bissek's lack of attacking tributes, lack of dribbling stats, lack of any type of skill set boost for attacking, shooting, none of it mattered. And we haven't even talked about these other lower rated center backs like Burn here, who has the dribbling of any at least mid-tier attacker, right? I mean, look at this close ball control. His dribbling's literally like in the 20s and 30s, and he is keeping tight control, able to cut like any other attacker would, playing in the central midfield role. I mean, he was just as agile, just as shifty as any other big man on the ball. He's literally like 6'9" with like 30 dribbling. Does that look like a 6'9", 30 dribbling player to you? And I could go on and drive this point home, and I might as well, because the last time strikers ignored it. All I want them to do is to make a good game because they showed they have the potential. Fix things like this. This shouldn't be happening, right? You shouldn't have the ability to have any player you want strike the ball, shoot the ball, pass the ball like they are a top player. Otherwise, it makes the game pointless. This goal right here, the exact same goal I would score with Ronaldo, with Haaland, this near post textbook, what I think is kind of glitchy, but strikers never removed it. I mean, Van de Ven can do the same thing. It's all about attacking positioning, being at the right place in the right time, or at least you would think so. But Van de Ven, terrible attacking positioning, and yet he can do this no different than a Haaland and Ronaldo. It's not about the finish, it's just about being at the right place in the right time. And let me tell you this, there's certain strikers that no matter what you do, they do not make that near post run. I always thought it was because they had lower attacking positioning than like a Ronaldo or a Haaland. But look at Van de Ven. Apparently that super low attacking positioning doesn't mean anything, and it was just a random thing that certain strikers just wouldn't do, running to that near post to tap the ball in. So again, just like all the top development companies do, play testers are hired to literally try to break the game, and then the developers can fix whatever the player base found out, the play testers, I should say, and then they release a good game. That's all I'm trying to do here. It should have already been done, but it wasn't. And because the initial product was at least something we could grab onto and say, okay, maybe this game can be something, and now there's so many players involved, we're here now. So either you listen to us and you fix the game, otherwise everyone's going to be gone. And I don't want to give up because other players aren't giving up. Would it be easy right now based on many actions from strikers? Yes. However, it's not about them that I'm really worried about. It's about the rest of the players that do not want to play EAFC, do not want to play eFootball, and that have stuck with strikers with UFL through and through. And I want to see the game fixed for them, even more so than myself. Because I started my channel around this game. I play FC at a level that I could have easily started a channel and done the same thing because I love helping players. There's plenty of players that just want to get to a higher level, and I love helping them do that. I love giving my takes on the game, hearing others' takes on the game, and I really should say games because there's two other great football games, and I truly want UFL to be that way, but Strikers has to fix things like this. You cannot have LaCroix and Bissek teaming up as if they're Vinicius and Mbappe, and you can't tell me that that wasn't a pure Strikers finish right there. Not to mention the movement that created the chance. I mean, that is no different than any attacking player, and it should not be the case. And I wanted to focus this on specific elements that could not be denied, such as what the community manager on Discord for UFL and Strikers tried, right? I wanted to show specific movements, but let's not forget I still have all of my players out of position, and I have center backs literally not just at striker, but also at each wing midfield spot, as well as both center mid spots, and they are performing great. We haven't even discussed the fact that every cross from these wingers who are center backs and have terrible passing, terrible crossing, they're all pinpoint, no different than every other player, making that passing, that crossing stat irrelevant. Yes, I get it. These players can't necessarily curl it in the same way Son can, or do a low-driven shot maybe like Valverde or whoever. But overall, there are too many attributes that don't mean anything. This is what needs to be fixed, allowing these players to have the ability to play in these positions and play them well. That's what creates that stale feeling in all of your players, the lack of identity, the lack of really caring which players you get, because they all pretty much perform the same or similar. There's no wanting a certain player because he can perform better skill moves than another player, because every player can perform every skill move. There's no wanting a player that's better at passing than another player, because look at this. That is LaCroix to Bissek, and look at this through ball to Van de Ven. Every player, despite whatever their attributes are, can perform very similar, and that's where the issue is. That's what needs to be fixed. Now, on the bright note, that was a brilliant through ball, which the mechanics on through balls in UFL are terrible. Strikers, take whatever that was by Bissek, that perfect through ball, and incorporate that for every through ball, because they're too inconsistent. They're crazy. Now, with that being said, hopefully this stuff gets addressed. This is not just about attacking UFL and wanting to embarrass them or dog on their game. This is a player who actually benefits both as a content creator and a player, a top 10 in the world player that wants the game to succeed, because it's pretty cool being at the top of a game and playing. It just has to be worth it. It's pretty cool sharing content and having people reply and want to know this tip or this trick or how I did this or what tactics I use, and me helping those players, which is why I did this in the first place. And you can't do that in a failing game. So it is not about me just wanting this game to topple, and that's why I'm putting this out. It's just like I said a couple times in the video, and I'll say it again. Just like many of the best, if not all of the best development companies do, playtesters are actually asked to break the game so the development company can then fix the things that are exploited or broken or could be exploited or that don't work in the game before the player base has to suffer through it. If anything, that's what I'm trying to do. So, with that being said, keep grinding, keep having fun, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.